Welcome back to the Workbench After Hours podcast. My name is Keith, and I'm your host. This is where we talk about the firearms community, shop talk, and everyday life experiences. Welcome back to the Workbench After Hours podcast. This is episode 4. And again, we have Chris and Hunter today as guests, and I'm your host, Keith. And this episode, we are going to talk about, we finally actually took Hunter shooting for the first time. So pretty excited about that. So we're going to talk about his experience, and also these guys are going to talk about their goals that they're setting for this year, and then whatever else comes up. So Hunter, you finally got to shoot the Glock 17 that you bought almost a year ago.
Almost a year ago.
Yeah. So we went out to the country. I got a cousin that lives, and we were actually shooting off his back porch. I think I had a video camera out there. We got a bunch of different clips that we're going to post on YouTube. But we weren't really shooting. We were just shooting at a bookshelf with some targets on it and just kind of messing around. And the rifles that we had weren't sighted in very well, but we just needed to shoot because it's been, at least for me, probably 2.5 years since I've actually finally shot.
Yeah, last time I shot was with you.
Yeah.
So,
well, the whole pandemic and the ammo shortage, and it's like you want to not shoot what you have. So luckily, ammo's a little more available now. So we're like, all right, we need to go shoot. Plus, that'll give me some cleaning videos to do for the YouTube channel and and stuff like that. So it's the first time shooting the Glock.
Yep.
How'd you like it?
I liked it. I mean, it's the second time I've ever actually shot a pistol, anyways, so I couldn't really tell you if I liked it, better than another brand or anything like that, but...
Yep, and I think you shot my Glock 21, right? 45 caliber.
The 45 caliber.
Yep, so pretty much the same thing.
Suppressed, which was...
fun.
So badass. So badass.
Yeah. If you don't have a suppressor and it's legal where you are, I'd recommend getting one. Especially because I have 3, and each time I got one, it took 10 months to get. Jeez. Which is a long time to wait, but it's kind of worth it.
Mm-hmm. I wish they'd just make them legal because it's so much better on the ears.
I know. And it was cold outside, so you can see where the gases were coming out. Man, those gases, especially on the 300 blackout rifle I had, were coming back in my face. Like you could see, I could feel it, but you can actually see it when you're watching a video, like the gas is coming back.
Well, you can also see it smoking too as it came down. It was so cold.
I know.
And the smell, it was so pungent.
Oh yeah, it was fun though.
Yeah, so I guess I couldn't really give you my opinion on if I'd liked it better than another brand or anything like that, but just going out and shooting it was such a blast. I think I counted, I think it was like 217 rounds through it or something like that.
Yeah. I remember you had that 33 round magazine, and we're sitting there watching you shoot, and we're like, is he out yet? Oh my God. Like, it seemed like 5 minutes went by.
The shoulders start burning. You're not even aiming good at that point. You're just sweating.
You're like, I just got to finish off this mag. It's a magazine, not a clip, right?
Yep, magazine. Do not say clip in front of Keith.
Yeah, that's fun. And then you shot a couple ARs for the first time, right?
Yep.
And then had a bolt action 6.5 Creedmoor. I think it's a Mossberg Patriot or Predator, something. It's a Mossberg, one of the cheaper ones, but I mean, I like it. The bolt was smooth.
Yeah.
It was really smooth.
Yep. And we finally got to shoot your, year and a half AR build?
Yep. Year and a half AR-10.
Yep. How'd you like it?
I loved it. I was really happy with it. I was happy there was no problems with it compared to the other ARs. It seemed like they always jammed up for some random reason.
Yeah, because your 223 5.56 rifle, it was like not hitting.
Yeah, it was hitting, but it wasn't firing the round for some reason. So
yeah, it was like barely pressing on the primer, but not enough to fire it. And you have a fail 0 bolt carrier group in there.
Yep.
Which I had some issues on a 6.5 Creedmoor build I did with a fail. So maybe it is. I don't know. I cleaned it real well today and put a lot of oil, soaked it, and hopefully that'll fix the little issues. But hey, as long as the 6.5 Creedmoor one works.
Yeah.
Because that's got the Arrow bolt carrier group.
Yep, it's got the Arrow, and it's nickel boron also. So
awesome.
Yeah.
What scope did you go with?
I ended up going with the Vortex Diamondback Tactical. It was a 6x24 first focal plane reticle. So it's really nice. It's even better when you get a really nice military discount on them.
Yeah.
like 40-50% off of MSRP. So yeah, I couldn't pass that deal up.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No.
So after you've shot several different guns, do you have your next gun that you want?
My next logical gun that I should get would be an AR for sure, I think. But a gun I saw a video on, and it just looks badass. Probably won't be my next gun, but I'm pretty infatuated with it right now. Is the Smith & Wesson R8 357 mag. It's just in matte black, 8 round. It looks so badass. So I don't know how much they cost, but it might be something I look into.
Right. And you went shooting again today with your father-in-law, right?
Yeah. So he actually called me while we were out there, told him what we were doing. Must have got him all excited because he calls me like 7 a.m. this morning. Hey, we should go shooting today. I was like, okay. Where? I'm all pumped up after shooting yesterday. Oh, let's just go, indoor shooting range. I was all right. Never been. So we went right when they opened, and it was a blast. Definitely way different in terms of the noise situation.
Oh, yeah.
I had the squishy earplugs in with the actual earmuffs over the top, and it was like, it still felt 3-4 times louder than when we were shooting outside yesterday.
Yeah, because especially if you got somebody shooting a big caliber or a rifle, that concussion, because you're in basically a concrete box there, it has nowhere to travel, so it's just you're going to feel it.
And and the loudest by far was, he got a M2 that Keith actually did a breakdown video on. So check that out in the YouTube channel. But he fired that for the first time, and we were shooting. You can only shoot slugs in the indoor range, and holy shit, when he'd shoot, I mean, you could feel it in your chest, almost like knocking the air out of you. It was such a strong concussion wave. So I got to shoot it a couple times, but I shot it twice and was like, all right, I'm done, because my shoulder was so sore after yesterday. It was like, boom, boom. All right, that was fun, but I'm going to stick to the pistol now.
And that's when it's so much nicer shooting outdoors versus at an indoor range, because, again, you were shooting a shotgun, so they only let you shoot slugs, which... Okay, shooting a couple's fine, but you don't want to shoot a whole bunch of those. And then you're limited on the type of ammo because you had some steel case for your 9mm that you bought, and they won't let you shoot it there.
Texted Keith this morning, hey, I'm going to the shooting range. You think I should just burn through the rest of the steel case ammo? Because I know it's not, I guess the best thing to cycle through your gun. And no response. I guess he'd fallen asleep or something. I get there, I pull out the box, who's
ever in charge of
marshal
the range.
or whatever, walks over to me.
Range officer
Immediately comes, picks it up, walks it over to this magnet, and he's like, if it sticks to the magnet, you can't shoot it. I'm like, fuck, all right. So I'd only had like maybe 20 rounds of the brass case left, but thankfully my father-in-law brought, I don't know, probably 400 rounds worth of
nice
of 9mm, because he just got that. What's it called, Keith? Is it PX9 or what is it?
It's a SIG. I forgot. I haven't seen it. I can never remember the name of it.
It's considered a pistol, but it looks like a submachine gun kind of. That kind of look. They're real compact. It's got a foldable stock.
Is it the PX9? Does that sound right?
I don't know. I'll look it up when I'm done talking. But
we need to get that gun from him and do a couple videos for the YouTube channel.
And he had one of the, I don't know if it's a red dot or, because like when you move this way, it kind of keeps it on top. I don't know if that makes sense,
Well, if it's just a red dot reticle.
Yeah. It had like the circle with the crosshairs on it and the dot in the middle of it. Anyways, he got it sighted in. And because it's so light and there's no kickback to it, it got to the point where you could only shoot like 5 or 6 rounds at one specific target because it was so accurate. You'd have to start moving on, otherwise you're just shooting through your hole. Yeah, it was crazy. We all were super impressed with it. And then I got to shoot his AR, and his was 5.56.
Yep.
And he had the full. What do you call that?
Foregrip and
Foregrip, yeah. He had the full one down, whereas your guys' had like just the little.
Ours isn't quite as pronounced. It's little, mostly for like a finger hold, pretty much.
Right.
So yeah,
his had the full
actual handle.
Yep, and that was crazy. That was really fun to shoot.
Do you remember what brand his was?
No, but I do know he was debating on bringing that or his 300 blackout that he has.
Gotcha.
And then he had another one that was like some guy's name.
Dan Wesson.
Yep. He had one of those too that he hadn't fired yet. I don't know why. He told me this morning he was going to bring it.
A pistol or AR?
AR.
Man, nice. Yeah, Dan Wesson, they're expensive.
Well, if you know this man, he's got to buy the best of everything. So
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was quite the experience.
So would you prefer shooting indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor for sure.
Oh.
And it's just so strict in there, like
You can't fire rapid shots.
right. Loading the whole rule where you have to leave your gun with the slide pulled back, and then you have to walk back to the table to load your rounds. It just seemed like, I understand why they have to do it. It's safety reasons, but it just kind of slowed down and kind of took the fun out of
shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas we were on the back porch and we had a table and we always had the guns pointed down range and the chamber open, but you could sit there and load the magazines there. You don't have to worry about anything. And
yeah, and if you want to talk, while people are reloading or switching out guns or whatever, everybody can take their earmuffs off and actually talk to each other. You don't have to leave them on the whole time because everybody's shooting in the range, just that constant noise. I will say, though, the one thing I really did like, just because I'm kind of OCD about this, is you knew the exact distance you were shooting at all times, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. I wish we had the actual rangefinder out there yesterday.
I know, and I have one. I should have. If I would have known, I would have brought it.
Yeah.
So you got to shoot. So you shot your Mossberg 500 shotgun that you got for home defense, but then you also shot your grandpa's gun, the shotgun.
The Ithaca.
The Ithaca, yeah.
And that thing has some kick to it.
Yep, single shot, lever action.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you tried your home defense rounds, but then you had some 3-inch shells.
Yeah, so Keith bought me. I only shot one of those because I have, obviously want to save them for the home defense.
Right.
But that's the 2 3/4 inch
buckshot.
Mm-hmm. But then the 3-inch rounds that I had were the double Magnum turkey buckshot or whatever, and holy shit! I mean, even the difference between the 2 3/4 to that was like,
ow.
Ow with the 2 3/4 to, oh, my arm's numb.
Well, that's such a basic shotgun. I mean, there's no, on the new ones, you have the little bit of a recoil padding on the stock. That you don't at all. So
well, that was even with
pray.
the Mossberg 500. And then going to the Ithaca, I shot a bird shot out of it, like target skeet round. And then I shot the 3-inch shell on that one too after. And that was when I was like, all right, I'm done shooting that for a long time.
Yeah, we did some skeet shooting too towards the end there. And man, the first round, you were 5 for 5.
Yep.
That was the only thing I've ever done more than once shooting wise and I went to a place where they had like, 2 mechanical arms and they'd come from different directions and send them different heights and stuff like that. So I think that experience kind of transferred over, but
right.
I forget that maybe was my favorite part of the day is
skeet shooting.
Yeah, because it's bring some athleticism into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you actually have something you have to shoot at. Whereas when we were just shooting off into that hillside,
stand still.
Hopefully we get good throwers too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, his cousin you'd say pull, and then you'd hear everybody laugh. What the hell? Look over. Still nothing. He kept trying to flick the clay pigeons, and they wouldn't release from the thrower.
Yeah, because we just had a hand thrower out there, and yeah, because if you try and whip that thing too hard, that disc will not come out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I happened to me a couple of times because I'm used to disc golf now, so I want to like whip it out of there, and then when it just doesn't come out, so then your arm comes around and it's like, oh crap, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, and then if you go too slow, then it ends up you're aiming this way and ends up shooting way off left. So it's a fine balance.
But it's still fun though.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it makes me definitely want to move somewhere where I can, because he's awesome, because he could just walk out whenever he wants to and shoot off his back porch. It's like, man, must be nice.
Yeah, I'd love that. Just wake up in the morning. What do I want to do today?
Drink some coffee.
Right?
Sit there and, man, it'd be even better if you had if you're into hunting, you have deer coming through there. Just sit on your front porch. Just wait. Okay.
Right? You buy a gun, or you get done building the gun and need to test it or anything like that. Just okay, let me go pop up, because otherwise you got to take it to an indoor range, pay the fee and all that stuff just to test out a gun that you know you only need to shoot a few rounds through, and be nice. And it was because we live in the city, kind of southern city suburbia basically, but it was only like it was less than an hour out there.
It was nice. I really wish I had some land to do that.
You should get some. That should be your New Year's resolution. Get some land.
Not quite yet, but eventually it will be.
Yep.
We need to make friends with somebody who lives south. That way we don't have to go all the way up north.
Yeah.
And you just do a 15-minute drive down south and shoot somewhere.
Well, Chris lives south of us, and he's wanting land, so it's like,
I know.
buy some land.
Just pull the trigger, Chris.
I got to find the right property. It gets complicated.
That property we were on yesterday was damn near perfect.
Yeah. I wish if I had that opportunity, I would buy it and been done.
The house needs some work, but it was like, 6 acres?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect area to shoot.
Yeah. It needed a little work, but
not much.
Yeah. Clean it up. Then you could have your own shop. I had a huge shop on there.
Huge shop with a solid pad. Shop probably need to be
re-gutted, but it was still had your electrical out there and everything. Man.
Yep. Would be nice.
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, that all that takes time and money, and it's like, God, do you really want to mess with that? But
yes and no.
what they were asking for the house and the land is still cheaper than the houses we have.
Yeah.
Out here, which is crazy.
Just across state lines where we live, that would be double, probably, at least.
Double, if not triple. Because I know land just in our little area is almost 40 to 50,000 an acre.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, since we're talking about toys and land, why don't we talk about the fact that you have permission from your wife to buy a brand new boat?
Yeah.
And haven't.
Well, first off, pandemic hit. Everyone, I think, had the same idea. Let's go buy a boat or all the fun toys that you can do outside to get away from people, so you can't find what you want. So, but I already had a boat, and it gets the job done. I like to go fish a little bit, so it gets me out on the water. That's what I liked about it. I do wish it was a little bit wider and longer. So I've been kind of looking around still, but man, the prices on a boat is more than my truck right now. It's just like I can't pull the trigger on a boat that costs more than my truck.
I know. I guess I don't know if she understands that part.
I don't think so.
What do you have now?
I've got a little Bass Tracker. It's a 175X Special Edition.
Gotcha.
So it's just good enough for me to get out on the water and fish, do what I want. But I do wish it was bigger and a little bit wider.
Definitely one of the very few guys that actually has permission from his wife to buy a new boat and hasn't bought a new boat.
I just can't. I can't see it. I mean, you lose money on them eventually.
Oh yeah, they're a horrible investment.
Yeah, they are. They're fun. They're great. They get you out on the water and do fun things, but
especially those ones that you see people take down to like the lake and stuff, and
they're doing wakeboarding and all that. They get stupid in price.
Yeah, those are crazy.
All the maintenance on those, and it's
like the Tyga TYGA boats or Cobalt or whatever.
Yeah, it's just
you can wake surf and stuff on.
And it's nuts. It's just they get up in price really quick, and then if you go aluminum or fiberglass seems like they're almost double, triple from aluminum boat. So it's like,
would you get a boat like that, or would you get a fishing boat?
I'd want a fishing boat. If I wanted like a little cruiser, I'd probably get a pontoon, because then you can have a bunch of people on there. You could still fish, still have fun, and just relax and drink.
So I know nothing about boats. Obviously I know the difference between aluminum and fiberglass, the material, but why would that make a difference?
Just weight, and I don't know. A lot of the big fishermen guys, they get those really nice fiberglass boats all decked out. And most of the money really comes down to the engine is the biggest expense, and then your electronics and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But
is one like more maintenance than the other as far as fiberglass or aluminum?
Aluminum can take more of a beating than your fiberglass. So really, like where we're at, Hillsdale, it's got a bunch of tree stumps everywhere. I'd be scared to have a fiberglass boat hit one of those and you have a hole, and next thing you know, your $100,000 boat's being at the bottom of Hillsdale Lake.
Right.
I'd rather be able to have an aluminum boat where it can take that hit a little bit better. But I think it's more your area and what you're really fishing.
Okay.
And aluminum's a little bit cheaper to pull on gas,
right?
Because it's not as heavy. Yeah.
I wish I'd have known about this 6 months ago. Austin just sold his fishing boat. He would have sold it probably fairly cheap.
Yeah, I looked at selling mine and then trading it in for like towards collateral for the next one, but I just still can't see $36,000 in a boat. I don't care how new it is or what it is.
Yeah, you went as cheap as you could on your gun.
And that still wasn't cheap.
Can't imagine.
He did go with the more expensive barrel that I wanted him to, so.
Yep.
And went with a good bolt carrier group. So there you go.
When you guys were talking, so what's the difference between an AR-15 and an AR-10?
The round. So the AR-15 platform is geared towards more of a smaller caliber. So the 223 or 5.56, you can also shoot 300 blackout. But AR-10 is when you step up to like the 308 rounds for like big game hunting. So it's a bigger platform because it's got to handle a bigger round.
Gotcha.
So you'll notice that his was much heavier and everything was bigger on it, just so it can hold up to that bigger round.
And then that bolt action we were shooting, what round does that shoot?
It was a 6.5 Creedmoor. It was the same as my AR-10.
Shoots the same round?
Yep, same round. So
yeah, that thing was fun. I've been waiting a year and a half to shoot that one too.
That one was one of my favorites to shoot, just because you don't have the ability to pull the trigger multiple times, so you kind of focus in. Well, if you're trying, you focus way more on that one shot than just popping off a couple rounds. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and the bad thing is you still can't find 6.5 Creedmoor.
And if you do, it's like $50 for 20 rounds. It's not worth it.
So I think I went through about 20 rounds of the cheaper ammo.
Wait, so 6.5 Creedmoor, but it shoots the same round that your
AR-10. I got a 6.5 Creedmoor barrel and muzzle brake on it.
So that's what it
that's
fires in.
Yeah.
So 6.5 Creedmoor, is that the same thing as the 310?
308.
308.
If I wanted to fire a 308, I have to change the barrel out and the muzzle brake. But everything else on it is 308. Like my bolt carrier group's at 308.
Is it just slightly different size in bullet, or what is that? What's the difference?
Yeah,
they could simplify it so much.
They could.
But
well, the cool thing about the AR platform is it's easier to change out stuff to shoot multiple calibers, whereas that one bolt action rifle that I have that's what you get. That gun is dedicated to shooting that round. Whereas with his gun, his AR, if he wanted to change either the barrels or even the upper, he could still use the same lower, but he can get a 308 barrel and or upper, and so that way he can kind of go between two different rounds with within the same gun.
Okay, so then for the AR-15, when it's doing the 2.2
3 5.56.
It doesn't really matter on those.
Do you have to change anything out, or you just whatever round you?
Oh, it's all on the barrel.
Really. Yeah. So
you'd have to change the barrel.
Well, you can get a barrel. It's a wild barrel, is what they call it, and it allows you to shoot either or.
Gotcha.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, the wild barrel, or as long as your barrel, which most of them are now, is rated. It says 5.56 NATO on there. You can shoot 2.23 or 5.56, either one. The one I was shooting with the suppressor, that was a 300 blackout. So it's everything's the exact same as the AR, the regular AR, but the barrel was different because it's shooting a different round. But the bolt carrier group and the rest of the gun is the exact same.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you can
even convert it to a little 22 if you wanted. You just buy a different bolt and a magazine, and you can shoot 22s out of it.
All right.
And there's some other different rounds that you can use, like
458 SOCOM,
some oddball stuff. Yeah.
Then you can get to the 9mm stuff eventually, but that's totally different.
And that's why the AR platform is the most popular in the U.S. because it's so customizable and versatile. Versus with that bolt action I had, I'm stuck with that round with that gun.
Yeah, I know the SIG does something. It's like modular. SIG does it really well on their pistols. You can buy the 9mm, and then you can buy like a conversion kit, and it comes with a different grip, pretty much, magazine and your barrel, and it converts it. But it's still, you're spending the money for that conversion still as much as a gun. So It's like, should I just buy the gun that I want then, or buy this conversion kit? So.
Yep. So once Hunter's ready to build or buy an AR.
Yeah.
We'll be
Go
able to
through that.
We'll go through the differences, and you'll see it's adult Legos, and
It is.
More fun to build it than buy it straight up, you think?
I think so. You get what you want. If you want certain triggers or certain bolt carrier grips, certain barrels, you just go buy what you want instead of buying one that's plain Jane everyone can build. And yeah, it's already done, but then you're going to want to customize it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you could do, a lot of people do that, especially if they're new to the platform. They'll buy like, a basic intro one from like Smith and Wesson or even the Springfield Saints, whatever. So you buy just a standard platform, get used to it, and then once you start seeing what is out there as far as upgrades, then you can change out the parts as you want to or can. So a lot of people go that route too, is they'll buy just a basic AR instead of building their own because they don't know anything about it. And then once they learn about it, they'll change out the parts if they want to. And that's what I did, is I bought a basic Stag Arms AR because I knew nothing about it really at all. And then as time went on, got more into it, started watching videos and shooting. Then I started upgrading the parts once I figured out what I wanted. And, we're continuously upgrading stuff on those. So.
Changing things, painting.
Because there's so many companies out there that make aftermarket parts for the ARs. It's insane.
Yeah. Once you think you found one that you like, then you'll find someone else with almost something similar, but they have different colors or
Oh, yeah.
ambidextrous and all that. So the one that I brought out yesterday was pretty much my ambidextrous, so anybody could shoot it. Ambidextrous safety, charging handle, everything.
Nice,
So,
nice.
But yeah, that 6.5 AR you had, man, that concussion off that was... It's all because of the brake that you had on there.
Yeah.
But because it was it directs the gases out the side, so there's less recoil. But man, if you're standing next to you or even behind you, I could feel that in my chest.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't feel it. I was like, what the heck are you guys talking about? And they're like, here. And I let them shoot it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. You don't feel it as the shooter, but everyone around you can
Yep.
feel that.
Yeah. I know when I was recording, you were doing the 300 blackout, you shot one. Literally, it came between me and the camera, and I was like, oh, I probably should step away because that just like slow motion. I was like, okay, I'm backing up.
Well, at one point, didn't you have like a 5-gallon bucket you were catching his?
I was catching his breath. It was, it was like at a 45-degree angle behind him, and it just popping up perfect. I just barely had to move it each time.
Was that the 6.5 gun you were shooting?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to save that brass because if
can't
you can
find it.
Yeah, reload that stuff if you can, or save it for whatever. But yeah, that's precious metal right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. We're gonna have to do that again, and once I get the video edited, it's nothing fancy or accurate or anything. It's just us messing around, but kind of fun. See us shooting some different stuff and just messing around.
Yeah, we were a little, I wouldn't say rushed, but we had the Chiefs game coming up, so we had to get back for that, and it was cold.
Yeah, it was.
And damp.
Yeah.
It was real damp out, so everybody's fingers were cold. And
Yeah, we left at the right time because the drive home, it was pretty much raining.
misting,
Yeah.
the whole time.
So yeah. So you guys, the last episode, we kind of started talking about New Year's resolutions.
Yep.
We're coming up on New Year's, but now New Year, we're well into the new year by about a week and a half ish or so.
Yeah, roughly.
Whatever today's date is, I don't remember.
It's like the 9th.
The 9th. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So we're 9 days into the new year. When we're recording this, so you said you had some stuff that you were thinking about but hadn't actually written it down or anything.
Yeah, I went back through my list and saw which ones I didn't get complete and actually put those down for this year.
So you didn't complete from last year?
Yeah, so like starting a YouTube channel is on there. What else did I have on there? Clean the garage, get my boat inside the garage instead of paying storage. Is one of my other big ones, and then pay off debt, and then get into a workout routine or eat or have a healthier diet.
Okay.
That's pretty much what I added for this year.
So you keep a list on the refrigerator?
Yep, on the refrigerator. So every day I look at it, and then sometimes I'll even add them. And as I complete them, I got like a little box, so I can put like I'm halfway through it. I can put halfway through complete. So then I'm like, all right, only got halfway to go.
I know your wife really wants you to clean out the garage, but is she going to be happy when you get it cleared out and then store a boat in there?
Well, that was the whole goal for last year, but we almost got it there. I could probably get it done this month.
Because she was sending me pictures and was like, Keith, come help Chris organize.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time before I got in that car accident starting to get the garage organized, hanging everything up on the wall. And I think I also put a shed so I can kind of get everything that I don't want in the garage outside.
Whenever you get a shed.
Yep. I want to get like all the lawn equipment outside so it's not taking up room. So
yeah, you basically have a car part store at your house in your garage right now.
Yep. Anybody looking for
you're a car part hoarder is I think what they actually
yeah,
call it.
Yeah, the E30 BMWs. Anybody looking for parts, let me know. I might have it. And multiples of it.
Yeah, I mean you could sell that stuff, right? And
yeah, I could. I might try to actually get rid of it eventually.
And then you also have another car in the garage.
Yeah, I got the 71 Dodge Charger in the garage. That'll be my next big project. I don't know how long I'm going to take to get that one done.
What condition? Is it basically
It's pretty much going to need a restoration, floors, quarters, I mean, everything.
So right now it's just a roller?
Yeah, right now it is. The engine, I don't even know if it'll crank over. It's free. It spins, but...
So do you have a 2 or 3 car garage?
It's technically a 2 garage, but it's deep enough. I've had 3 cars in there. I had one in the back sideways, and I've had 2 cars in.
So you got the 2-car tandem?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing?
But it's just so deep, I can put a car literally sideways in the back.
So is your wife okay with you storing the 71 in there, plus a boat, and all your car parts?
She has to be. I mean,
she doesn't have an option.
Yeah,
right?
no option right now.
He's got several workbenches, a bunch of toolboxes, and stuff in there. So it's a pretty full garage.
Yeah, I still got room to walk around. That's all that matters.
Obviously, if you've seen my garage workshop tour video on YouTube, I'm very particular about
where
everything has a spot, and I hate clutter. It drives me insane. I haven't been to your garage for a while.
Yeah,
I'd probably be like, all right, Chris, freaking
throw everything away.
Yeah, it's got to go. I'd probably be worse than Kat, honestly. She'd probably be like, whatever, throw it in a pile somewhere, and I'd be like, nope, going directly to the curb.
I mean, I've done that. When I was cleaning the garage, I probably had like 4 or 5 of them, and I ended up taking just big trash bags and stuff to work and throwing it in our big dumpster.
I'd say at least twice a week when I'm walking in my car, I hear shop vac going in Keith's garage.
Well, yeah, man.
He just is constantly vacuuming and
crap blowing in from outside. And then, if we smoke cigars or whatever, you like to ash a lot. Hunter's the worst at getting ashes in the ashtray. It goes everywhere but the ashtray. So then you got to clean that stuff up. So yeah, it's I mean, that's how you keep it clean. Is you just gotta. That way, if you do it, a couple times a week or whatever, you don't have to spend even longer doing it one time.
Yeah, the problem is I get all my projects and I want to get them done.
Yep.
So the car, as soon as the car is done and I can get it out, that's when I'm going to probably deep clean. So, which it's ready to come out.
The red one?
Yeah, the BMW.
Nice.
So you might be seeing it here before too long.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we need to get you your YouTube. I know you're ready and have some ideas for your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And obviously everybody's starting a YouTube channel right now because it's so easy, but we just got to come up with a name. And you can always change your name.
Yeah, I thought I'd just using my name and doing it that way.
Yeah, and you can always change it. Like I've changed the name of my channel.
Yep.
Just do it. It's all about...
I wish I would have done it like 10, 15 years ago when I was doing all the stuff to the car already. Exactly. Instead of like, the car's done.
Yeah, that and before, because now there's so many...
car videos.
Everybody's doing videos on YouTube, so now it's a little bit harder for YouTube to get your videos out there. It's all about the analytics, and it's crazy.
Yep.
So you have to have a lot of views on your whatever video have before Google will actually start pushing that out to people. Their analytics is ridiculous, but yeah, it's definitely something you need to work on this year.
Yeah, that's my goal, so we'll see.
Yep. And then Hunter, what about your
New Year resolutions?
Well, after hearing Chris talk about how he actually writes them all down, I talked to my wife about that, and she thought it was a good idea. So we sat down New Year's Eve and wrote out all of our resolutions. We did, I think, 4 or 5 apiece, and then, I think she did 4 and I did 4, and then she added one with a little asterisk on mine that said No, can't stay over at Keith's house past 10 on weekdays and 11 or 1 o'clock on weekends. So I'm like, well, it's not really a. If I don't write it down and I don't feel, I don't understand that this is a wrestle. That's more of you trying to boss me around.
I think that's more of a hint.
Does that apply if she's asleep or?
Right.
Or
when
what
you
if
fall asleep at 9:30? What am I supposed to do?
Or what if she's hanging out with my wife? Do you still have to go home at said time?
How funny would that be? All right, bye guys. See you at home.
Well, then you could do that and then reverse it to her next year and do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was funny. But the main ones that, because there's some I'm not going to share, but the main ones, we downloaded that Duolingo app. There's a couple of them, different apps or whatever, but we both did Spanish in high school, and I think she made it to like Spanish 3 in college. But if you're not using it all the time, you're not actually talking to anybody, it goes away so fast. So we started that where we both done it 9 days in a row. Kind of, you get a alert on your phone that says like, hey, you haven't done it today. You want to do 10 minutes really quick. And it's nice because I actually want to learn it this time. I don't feel like I have to learn it because it's a part of school. So it's actually been way easier to, stuff's coming back to me so fast. So that's cool. We're just going to keep going with that. And hopefully, in 6 months or whatever, we can, it's obviously we weren't going to be fluent or anything.
You guys are going to be yelling at each other in Spanish when it's time to come home, right?
Well, it's nice because her cousin's fiance speaks, his first language is Spanish, and then she's half Mexican, so her mom's side of the family, they all speak Spanish, so we'll be able to actually test it and get feedback in, real life situations instead of just trying to talk it to each other, which, if we're speaking it to each other, we'll probably be speaking it wrong, but thinking we're right.
Right.
So we'll be able to get
At least you guys will be on the same page, even if you're mispronouncing it or whatever.
Right. So that was a good one. And then try and finish one book a month. Just try and start reading more. We're on our phone so much. So we're going to try and start reading before we go to bed instead of staring at our phones, not talking. If we're not talking, we might as well be doing something productive. Yeah.
Can't be watching TikTok videos,
she's just on
YouTube.
that's what she does. She's just on TikTok the whole night trying to fall asleep, and then she complains she wasn't able to fall asleep. I'm like, how do you fall asleep in the middle of a Chiefs game? But then when you're laying in bed, tired, ready to go to bed, oh yeah, because you're staring at TikTok. So,
yep.
So that's another goal, and then she's trying to go to the gym more, and then I'm trying to. I go to the gym pretty consistently, but continue doing that and lose some of this holiday weight.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of that.
So.
Well, and once the weather gets better again, because we started playing disc golf quite consistently, several times a week, and especially when it was stupid hot out. And so I noticed I started losing weight just because you're out there sweating, walking around a bunch. So I think that'll be nice for all three of us when the weather gets nicer and we can do that again.
Yeah.
25, 30 pound, even, probably 30 plus pound bag, plus you're walking
Mile,
3.5. It's like,
easy.
Well, if we play big, like Shawnee Mission's 3.5.
Yeah.
So that's 3.5 miles, but it's uphill, downhill, plus you're throwing, it's a pretty good workout, definitely. And that was one of my other resolutions that I did was try and play in one disc golf tournament a month. So
nice.
Starting after March, because they're really sparse in the
winter.
In the winter, they're hard to they're hard to find, and two, who wants to play when it's 15 degrees out? So
3 inches of snow,
right,
freezing.
You gonna have your dad as your caddy?
I'm not even gonna tell him. I'm not even gonna tell him.
Yeah, we play with his dad, and it's super fun because he's great personality, but he's just a goofball.
Yeah, he's a wild guy, and he'll start talking your ear off. You get distracted. He gets distracted. I'm constantly have to find his discs because he'll throw. Mm-hmm. He will be telling a story, walk up, throw, not even watch where it goes, turn around, and immediately continue his story. It's like, Dad, no wonder you lose so many goddamn discs.
When he gets in my head, he's like, oh, don't worry about it. Or he's like, you're too serious. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to do good here. And then it gets in my head, and then I just totally screw up.
Yeah.
Can't let it get to you.
He's been doing that to me for years.
Yeah, it's hard.
You learn that one ear out the other.
But it's funny because if he is there and you can make fun of them too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, I can't wait to. I got decent, but now it's been so long since we played. I'm gonna have to get back into that groove and.
But at least you know what to do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So instead of like, what did I do wrong this time? What did I do this wrong?
Yep.
What disc do I throw? You kind of got a better idea.
Mm-hmm. Definitely got a much bigger collection now of
Yeah.
discs.
Yeah, and I ended the season. I almost don't want to play anymore because I ended the year. The last hole I played, the last round of the year, I aced it. And so now it's like, do I really want to start off the new year and have some shit round? And that's where that amazing feeling left off to. But
Well, didn't you say that was like the longest streak you went without acing?
well, yeah, it was the longest streak I went without acing. And then also, since I've started playing, I haven't gone an entire year without getting one ace. And it was on December 24th when I got it, Christmas Eve. Went out and played for my mom's birthday. And the whole time I was like, this is it, guys. I have to hit an ace because I'm sure we won't play for the rest of the year. And then this will be my first year without getting one. And sure enough, hole 18, the last hole, there was 8 guys in front of us, and they were all taking it way too serious. Not in a tournament, and they're playing, when you play casually, you play ready golf. It's like after you throw, the next guy you don't need to be waiting and everybody behind the guys, not in a tournament. So those guys were doing that, and they're being jackasses. And then after they all finished 18, they stood around the basket for a while checking each other's scores. And I'm like, you guys can do this as you walk to the fucking cars.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So my dad was pissed, crazy headwind, and my dad just rip it as hard as you can and see if you can get it into the group. They were too far away. They were far enough away from the basket I knew I wasn't going to be able to, but I just fucking snapped it, and sure enough, so.
Greatest feeling in the world.
Such a great feeling.
Clunk.
But, yeah, so I think in the future we'll try and make some videos, a vlog or whatever of us out on the disc golf course. A couple things here and there.
Yep. Because I think, honestly, I've told you several times you should do a YouTube channel just yourself because you're a really good teacher on, because I knew nothing, but the way you explain it and then show, like, it's a no pressure, like, you're like, whatever, if do it this way, if it doesn't work, whatever. But I don't know. I feel like I learned better off of you than I would of anybody else. I'm like, a lot of people are probably looking on YouTube to learn how. In the videos I looked up, you have a professional that is teaching another guy who already knows how to play disc golf. He's just trying to get better, and it's like, that's not going to help me at all, because I need to know the basics. And then, of course, this guy he's teaching can already launch it pretty good. I'm like, well, screw this. Like, but if you, because I'm still not that good. Yeah, I know what to do a little bit, but I think that'd be a good topic for him to do on a YouTube channel and get a lot of views. And now we got a little bit of better equipment to film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, GoPros and everything.
Except for this damn camera, we can't figure out. One, it goes into sleep mode. Now it's overheating. We got to figure out what's going on with it.
That camera we won't be bringing disc
I
golfing.
know.
Yeah.
That's what
GoPros, better equipment. That's the first thing I taught him.
I know that stinks. Yeah, I bought this Sony ZV-E10. It's supposed to be really good for YouTube videos, but it doesn't seem to want to record longer than 30 minutes or so, and it overheats. I need to see if there's a setting.
Yeah, there's probably a setting,
because all these vloggers use it, and their stuff is way longer than mine, unless they stop and.
They might be.
Yeah, probably, but.
And if you're considering buying one, Keith actually did an unboxing on the YouTube channel, so definitely check that out if you want to see, what it comes with and kind of the setup and everything like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out, and then I'll do an actual review. And obviously, I'm going to have to mention the problems that we're having, but it may be me. I don't know. Maybe there's something in the settings I'm missing as
User
far as
error.
Yeah, probably
Operator error.
So I thought, because we had it on a battery, and I thought, well, maybe it's because it's on just a battery, so I got an AC adapter for it. But no, it seemed to actually didn't, because the last podcast it died around 40 minutes ish. This one was like 30. Yeah. So we had to go back with the old reliable iPhone 12 Pro Max.
And I don't think this would have anything to do with it, but you did have it connected to the TV this time. I don't understand why that would overheat it, but
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that had something to do with it. I'm not positive.
Stupid cameras. I don't know.
Keep it easy.
So you were saying you guys want to read more.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever finish that book I got you?
I read like the first 5 pages and haven't picked it up since.
You're gonna have to read that one. I know. So the first book is really hard to get through, but once you get through that book, the rest are a lot better written and not in so much detail.
What a great survival book. Right?
Yeah, it's by the guy's name is American, stands for Angry American. That's not his real name, but it's called the Going Home series, and the first book is about a guy that's a prepper, and he's traveling for work, and he has a go bag with him or a get home bag, and an EMP happens, and he's 200 miles away from home. So the first book is his journey home. So, and it's geared towards all those prepper guys and stuff like that, because he goes into very high detail on what he's using and how he uses that stuff to get home. But then the second book is he's home, and it's about their survival in their neighborhood at home and stuff like that. So once you get past the first book, it's, like I said, it doesn't go into as much detail on stuff you really don't need that much detail on. But it's pretty cool. And I think right now, as far as I know, there's at least 10 books in the series.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole government conspiracy thing that's in there. I'm only halfway through book 2. Again, because I have the second book on audio. So I've been listening through audio, and I just have, you run out of time, and because it's one thing to listen to it. My wife loves to listen to audiobooks, but I have trouble sitting there and just paying attention, because I want to pay attention and know what's going on. Because if I'm sitting there listening to it, and then I get bored, I want to do something, like if I'm doing something. So I think on the third one, I'll just start reading the actual book again.
I think I do audio.
Yeah,
I hate reading
because then I miss things, because I space off or I get distracted by something, or if I'm listening to it while I'm in bed, then I fall asleep, and it's like, crap, where did I leave off?
Right.
I do it like music, probably, like just have it on in the background as you're doing stuff.
Yeah,
and then have it. I usually pick up on things like that.
I'd miss too much. That's why I like to read it, because you get your focus in, you're getting every single detail, and it's they say the act of reading really stimulates your brain.
Yep. Yeah, so you'll have to read that first book. You'll have to suffer through it. It's especially with you. It's because you're not into prepping or anything like that, so it'll kind of give you ideas on if some basic stuff to just have. Not even if like the world ends kind of a thing, but just we're in the Midwest, so we can be without power for an extended period of time, stuff like that. So there's some stuff that you can kind of pick up that will help you. But then when he gets home, he's got more prepper stuff. Like, he's more prepared for a long-term situation, unlike most people now. So you kind of pick up some stuff that you might put it back of your head, like, wouldn't it be a bad idea to put some of this stuff away or have so many of these things just in case. Because, heck, when we lived at our old house, we would lose power all the time. And I think we'd go through periods of like a week plus without power in the dead of winter. So there were luckily I had a generator, had a bunch of gas, and then we had a gas stove so we could cook, certain things. And I like to stay there just to make sure nothing happens to the house, pipes don't freeze, people don't break in. So there's some extra stuff like emergency candles and just stuff you really don't think about. But I don't know, it was an entertaining book for me, I think.
Well, if I get through the first and I get into them, well, that's the other thing. I was like, well, what if I read 2 books in 1 month? Can I count that? And she's like, no, minimum 1 a month. I'm like, oh.
This child's books.
What if it's a really thick book with 500 pages?
Really thick.
What if it's a picture book?
She always gives me shit. She's like, yeah, exactly. She's like, well, you're a fast reader, so that should be no problem for you. I was like, yeah, but you still have to designate the time and the mental energy towards it. I'm already, designating all my mental energy towards learning Spanish right now, lady. What do you want from me?
I go in phases with reading. There was years ago, I went into a big reading phase, and I got into Stephen King because he's got a lot of other books that are short reads, and they're just easier short reads. So that's what, you'd be able to knock out a book in like a week. So you might try some of those because they're easier reads, they're shorter, but it's still a full book.
They have these, they call them bag sales at the Olathe Library, and they have essentially, I think you pay $4 for a bag or $8 for 3 bags, something like that. And they're, plastic grocery bags, but as many books as you can fit in them. And so she's done like 3 of them now. So now we have we could fill up almost a bookshelf now. She's got all these, but she got all the books. I can't remember what they're called, but it's what they base the Bourne movies off of. So she picked up all 3 of those for me. So I think that'll probably be, I'm going to grind through this prepper book. And if, I stuff like that genuinely does interest me, but we'll just see how that goes. But those were the next books I was planning on reading.
That's cool. Now, the prepper books, it's, like I said, get through the first one. Then it starts getting interesting once he actually gets home and a bunch of stuff happens. And then it gets better because it's not as descriptive. I'm like, oh, this is how I made oatmeal for like the 5th time when you're on the road. But again, that's good for people to know how to do in the event anything were to ever happen.
It's like watching, what is that? They used to have those survival shows all the time.
Oh, Doomsday Preppers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they give people that are prepared for stuff a bad name.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, well, you're a prepper, so you think the world's going to end and, all this stuff. It's like, no, it's like, it may not be the end of the world or whatever, but something could happen.
Like a blackout that takes forever to get.
Or a pandemic where there's no toilet paper or anything. It's just being able to be self-sufficient and not have to rely on the government or,
other people.
You want to be able to have, enough supplies to last you a while without having to run out of freaking toilet paper in a week and then you're fighting with your neighbor over toilet paper. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Keith, did you do any resolutions? Or you?
So no.
No.
Anything you want to accomplish here in the near future?
Obviously, my main goal is to work on the YouTube channel and get that
up and going
and bigger. I think right now I checked today. We're at, last I checked was like 955-ish subscribers. So my short-term goal is to get to obviously 1,000, so that way we can start monetizing, and then just getting better at the video production and filming and stuff like that. So that's really my goal. And then obviously that is kind of coincides with the gun business too, is just to kind of grow it and work on, marketing. It's really hard to market with that, group I'm in with guns, because it's Facebook and YouTube are super strict about it. But just getting better with the video stuff is, I guess, could be a goal, and maybe drinking a little bit less, eating a little bit less, getting in better shape, but playing more disc golf when the weather's nice.
Yeah, speaking about drinking less, doing dry January here. Couldn't get these 2 hooligans to do it with me, but
nope.
Yeah, you just...
I heard whiskey a day keeps the doctor away, so...
Right.
How about 10 whiskeys a day?
Oh, that definitely keeps the doctor away.
Right.
Because you're skipping the doctor and going straight to the morgue.
Nope.
Yeah, so we don't get too crazy into it. I don't know, but yeah, I would just say mine is mainly growing the YouTube channel and stuff like that, and getting better, and even with the podcast, getting the video, figuring out what's wrong with the Sony camera. That's the goal. Trying to get the bugs worked out and everything, and
and I genuinely have never. I mean, you think of stuff like, I'd like to do this or that or whatever. This is the first year I've actually written them out and trying to, and we did like real specifics, like this by this date, like put a timeline on it instead of it just being open-ended.
Yeah, I think the reason I've hated doing that is because with my day job, because I work for a big corporation, they make us set goals, and I absolutely hate that.
Well, you can also use...
those are forced goals.
Right? Well, even with that, you can put that into your goals. Like, I do that with my work sometimes. I'll put down goals, my personal goals, towards the goals that I'm actually doing for work, too. So,
yeah.
Like finishing my degree, that was a goal. I was going to do it no matter what. but I still
You
put it
just
down.
wanted to check the box.
Yep, check the box. I knew I was going to get it done. I held myself accountable, like finish my degree this year.
So my wife loves checklists, and she'll write stuff on there that she's going to do anyways because she just gets that satisfaction of actually checking the box. It's like,
And that's why I do the box too, because I can put it halfway done with it, so I can keep kind of track of where I'm at.
You should have put replace bathroom vanity on that checklist, so that way you would have been able to check it off.
me?
Yeah,
Well, it's not done yet.
I know, but it's going to get done soon.
I'm going to go write it up on there. Yeah, because the other thing that we read is that you have to have it somewhere where you can see it every day, like to ingrain it. And so ours is right in between, in our bathroom, above the sink, in between our two parts of the mirror, just right there in the middle.
Man, I was hoping you'd say it was on your refrigerator, because I definitely would have gone and
Yeah.
written stuff on there.
Well,
That's what I do on mine. It's on the side of it.
we
every
thought
day.
about that, but there's some inappropriate stuff on there. So we figured it's best that the families don't come over and read some of the things
Right.
on the list.
Well, the cool thing, so you got a really cool gift from your father-in-law for
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, I got a huge tool chest. He got me both the lower part that's got the casters on it, and then the upper part
The hutch.
the hutch.
Yep.
And it's got power strip on it, soft close drawer. I mean, the whole thing's super nice. And I actually got the first sticker decal I'm gonna put on it today.
Yeah?
Grabbed one of the center fire
Nice.
ones. So because Keith, he's got a big kind of like matte finish. But if you watch the video he's got online of his, or on the YouTube channel of his garage tour, you'll see it. But then he's got a smaller red one that's just covered. It's red, right?
No, they're black.
They're both black.
Both black.
The smaller one's like a glossier black, I guess. Anyways, it's covered from head to toe in all sorts of stickers and decals and shit.
That's what I do. I got like a bunch of Apple logos on each drawer.
Yeah, so now I've got my first one that I can throw up there.
It just kind of personalizes it, and like stickers are cool. Like every time you usually buy something gun related, you get a sticker in
Yeah,
there.
it's the same way with car parts.
Yeah.
That's why I always bloop.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, we need to work on filling that guy up and getting your garage set up. Because right now you got a pretty big 2-car garage, and it's for the most part bare.
Yeah. My wife parks in there normally. I had a spring snap on the garage door, so I have to get that replaced so we can get her back in there.
Yep.
But with her car not, with the Jeep not in there, I mean, it's pretty wide open.
Yeah, we built you a couple new workbenches
Yeah.
for house projects, because you're a new homeowner, and the one good and or bad thing about owning a home is there's always a project.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of them are fun to do. Some of them suck.
Yeah, like the plumbing underneath the new vanity.
Yep. But yeah, so we'll get that all set up, and I've got this. My wife's cousin and her fiance bought a new house, and they had these badass. It didn't go with their like new style that they're going with because they kind of gutted and replaced it. But they have these badass, like almost they look like railroad ties, but some of them are, half circles. So I'm not sure what those pieces went to, but this is really cool, dense, like aged wood. So I took a bunch of that off of him before he got rid of it all, but now it's just sitting in the garage taking up a bunch of space. So I need to get those moved out so I can get the tool chest in there. And
It's just been so freaking cold.
it's been cold, and it's been, like I said, I got to get that garage door. Just a lot of stuff to do.
We were spoiled because, again, it was 70 degrees Christmas Eve. We went disc golfing. But ever since then, it's been pretty darn cold.
Yep.
Cold, snowy.
Like, I tried to take down the Christmas lights outside, and I was going to wrap up the extension cords. They were frozen, so they wouldn't roll up, so I had to drag them in the garage. I got the heater going in there, so they unfreeze or kind of thaw out, so that way they're a little easier to wrap up. It's like,
Yeah, and with that little bit of mist we got yesterday, everything was just slightly coated, and then it was so cold that it just
Yep. Froze.
insta froze. And
Yep, but it's already apparently January 9th, so get a couple more months of this, and we'll be getting into better weather and can do more stuff outside. And
Yeah, usually February there's a week or two that's like 60, 70, so.
yeah, unless it's like last year, and there's also, 2 straight weeks of below like 10 degree.
Below 10 degrees, and we also got that huge snowstorm that came through and gave us a bunch of snow.
I personally like snow. I just hate it once it starts melting because then it kind of covers up. Because I like it when it's either freezing or below outside because I have dogs. So that way it's not muddy and they're not tracking mud in. And if it snows, it just kind of covers up their poop. You don't have to pick it up as much.
And then you get they lay the salt down or the brine on everything, and then as that becomes slush, your car turns white because you're getting all the backsplash. And I'd rather just have it be
Dry.
like high 60s, low 70s all the time.
I don't mind 40s and 50s.
It's not too bad. Yeah, I guess I don't really get cold that easy. It's just more inconvenient.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And my wife gets extremely cold all the time, so the colder it is, the more stuff I find myself having to do that she would normally take care of that she can't because it's too cold outside. So
I like to do stuff outside.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to do it when it's 30 degrees either. Because then I get out there and I start sweating, but I'm cold, and I hate being cold and sweating at the same time.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
But, well, cool. I mean, I think that was pretty much topics that we had set for today.
We want to talk about,
yeah. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, if you kind of like the podcast where we talk about or have any ideas or anything you want us to talk about, let us know down in the comments. And think about subscribing because it does obviously help support the channel, especially once we do hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. It will definitely help us be able to bring you better content and
higher quality, better content. And
and then just comments I think would help too. Just knowing, hey, what do you guys want to listen to, or maybe there's a topic you want us to talk about and see what our input is might be an interesting way.
Yep.
Future video to even if it's not with podcast related, a future video we can put out for you guys. And I think on the next one we might talk about possible upgrades that we're looking to do to our
because now that you've shot the gun,
I got
you're already looking at changing out the trigger and stuff.
I got home and immediately bought a 3.5 pound connection like the second I got home, and my wife started bugging me about trying to get the sink fixed or the new vanity drain hooked up, and so I had to put a pause on it. But I'm looking to get a couple other things, so I'll probably go home and spend money that I don't need to be spending.
And it begins.
Yep. Now that he shot it, he's addicted, and then since he shot some other guns of ours, now he's like, okay, well, now what else do I want?
What am I getting next? Yeah, so honestly, we need it to warm up so I can get back into disc golf, and that way that's a lot cheaper hobby to be into.
Fair enough.
It is.
But no, I'm so glad I've gotten into. I've always been fascinated with guns. Cool to finally be able to experience them and use them.
Yeah, it's funny because you'll talk to people, and I'm really hesitant to bring up guns because you got those people that are just anti-gun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's surprising how many people are actually into guns or own guns.
Yep.
And can talk about it. It's like once you bring it up, it's like cool, we're like best friends now or something like that. It's
that one topic to break the ice.
I know there's so many people that are in it, but it's a sensitive subject to some people, so you don't want to bring it out, but yeah, so if any topics that you guys have or anything, just let us know down in the comments. If you are watching on Spotify or any podcast, check us out on YouTube because we do have the video for him, even though the Sony ZV-E10 camera kind of let us down again. But we had to go back with the iPhone, so
we'll get that figured out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out eventually. So, but yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in this week, and we will catch you guys on the next episode.
Have a good one.
That is his signature sign off.
See you guys.